Welcome to Through the Rough, a place where real-life people share the real-life experiences that have shaped us into who we are today. Have you ever felt stuck in a rough patch, wondering if there's a way out? Well, you're not alone. Life's toughest moments can often become our greatest teachers. Today, Lindsay and I are pulling back the curtain on why we have created Through the Rough, sharing stories and conversations that drive us and connect with you. We're just going to do a real quick 30-minute, or if it even lasts 30 minutes. Will it last 30 minutes, Lindsay?
I don't know. We'll see.
We're going to do a little quick touch the base for any listeners, prospective listeners, new listeners, people who've listened already, and so on and so forth. We want to touch base on what Through the Rough is and why we decided to bring Through the Rough to you and to many other people. And between Lindsay and I, we've kind of thought about how we want to do this, what's going to be the best way to try and communicate this. And we thought, well, what the hell? Why not do it the same way we talk with our guests? So we decided that I'll ask Lindsay a couple questions and Lindsay will ask me a couple questions, and that's how we get into it. So
do you want me to start?
Yeah, if you want to start, go ahead, Lindsay. First off, if people have listened to any of the episodes, they know who you are, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lindsay, and I've been partner with Sam on Through the Rough, and just trying to,
To introduce yourself.
Well, I'm introducing myself. I just don't know what
I don't know why.
about
I'm so nervous.
I guess I don't know what to say about myself.
Here, take my lead.
I'm 37 years old.
There you go.
I've been in the healthcare field for going on 15 plus years now. And I've been through the rough myself, a lot of ups and downs in my life. And I've gotten through a lot of hard times. And it's, Through the Rough is a place where I hope we can share that and give other people hope.
Obviously, my name is Sam. I've introduced myself a few times, a few episodes, but I'm Sam. I'm 47 years old. I live in Omaha, Nebraska. I work in the construction industry, blue-collar kind of guy with a blue-collar mindset, so to speak, when it comes to real-life things. I grew up on a ranch in South Dakota. I had a family of 5 siblings, well, 5 including myself. It'd be 5, so I have 3 sisters and a brother, and then my mom and dad. Through the Rough was an idea that came to me about 6 years ago, or at least the podcast idea. I didn't know it was going to be called Through the Rough, but the idea came to me about 60 years ago, which was around the time that I met Lindsay. And Lindsay and I have bounced this idea back and forth between us over the last 6 years. And then the last couple of years, we really decided to put it into motion. But like I said in the beginning, we're going to start this off with kind of an interview so that it goes the way that our episodes go. And I'm going to start this way right now with a question for Lindsay. Lindsay, what does Through the Rough mean to you personally, and how does it resonate with your own life experiences?
Through the Rough for me is, honestly, it's a way that I hope to connect all of us. I personally have gone through, I would say, a spiritual kind of journey, starting around, I'd say 7 years ago, and just going through my own life experiences, and through those spiritual journey as well, my own life experience, just really seeing how we are all truly connected. And I feel like Through the Rough is a great way to really showcase that to everyone. And I really hope to bring awareness that we are all going through something and that we're all going to be okay.
Right on.
Sam, for you, a question is, what was the defining moment or experience that made you want to start this podcast?
I don't know. I say I got to think about that, but in reality, I don't. I just need to contextualize the way that I want to say what it is I want to say. Curiosity, first and foremost. My curiosity for people and other people. I'm a very curious person when it comes to understanding the way things work. And I like to understand why people think the way they think. myself included, why I think the way I think. It's something that I've dived into aggressively over the last few years of my life, trying to understand, like, why is my psyche the way my psyche is? What are the circumstances that led me to feel, believe, and think the way that I do and see things the way that I do? And I can't be the only one that sees things or thinks the way I do. There's got to be other people that have gone through things, and that just that drives a constant hunger for information, a constant curiosity where I want to know how other people came to their conclusions, why other people think the way they think, and what circumstances led them to believe or led them to think and feel the way that they do. And one of the great unifiers that I think almost every human being, and not, and I'd say every American, but every human being around the world, I think, goes through turmoil, and it's that turmoil that that gives you the strength and the gives you the opportunity to see past adversity and to better yourself. And the next time you face those types of situations, you handle them much better and win with more grace.
I love that. It's very true.
Right on. And for you, Lindsay, can you remember a specific rough patch in your life that shaped who you are today, and then what helped you push through that? And I ask this question as a general question, not too many details, because I'd like to save that for an actual episode, God willing. But just a simple synopsis or a simple rundown of something that you've been through that you think is worth a testimonial.
The first thing that really comes to mind for me is I am a recovering anorexic. I dealt with severe eating disorder in my early 20s. And honestly, through that experience and going through that, it really kind of catalyzed me in my own personal journey and finding my true self and really, finding the strength that I had and not really realizing it. So honestly, that whole part of my life really kind of catalyzed me, I think, to where I am right now.
That's I wonder how many people, when they listen to this, I wonder how many people are going to be able to relate to that specifically. Like anorexia, eating disorders are a topic that you don't hear very much about. And when you do, it's usually tragic in some way or another.
Mm-hmm.
You having obviously the strength and perseverance to overcome such a I don't even know what you call it, an illness or a mental, whatever the case may be, however that circumstance unfolded is commendable, because I mean, that's a very deep psychological thing, I imagine. Which leads me to my next question. Why do you think storytelling or experience sharing is a powerful tool for healing and for personal growth?
I think, well, kind of on the personal growth, I think when we tell our stories, it's almost a form of healing, because you're getting it out there, you're getting it, and by getting that out there, that's kind of shedding that maybe energy that you're feeling from it, whether it be positive or negative. So I do feel like storytelling is a healing process for a lot of people. And I also think storytelling is a great way to connect us, because we might not be going through the exact same situation, but we go through similar situations, similar ups and downs in life. And I think by people telling their story, you can recognize, wow, that person went through something similar that went through myself, or that I'm currently going through, and they were able to overcome it or get through it in this way, and maybe shed some hope and some light in a direction that will help you get through.
I agree with you completely.
A question I have for you kind of touched based on one you kind of asked me, but what personal experience has shaped your perspective and made you feel this podcast is necessary?
Being alive. I mean, that's as simple as I can put it. A lot of people, you ask people, like, what profound experiences have you gone through in your life that have helped shaped you with who you are? And a lot of people often say, oh, nothing. My life is boring. Well, I call bullshit. And on everybody who says that, I call bullshit, because your life isn't boring. Because I don't know why people would think that their life is boring. And my life has been anything but boring. I've lived a really remarkable life for being 47 years old. I haven't traveled the world and climbed the pyramids and gone, scuba diving in Antarctica or any of that kind of thing. But I've lived a very profound life with profound experiences that have really shaped me and shaped the way that I see the world and shaped the way that I see others. And again, it provokes my curiosity.
Yes. I love that.
What else you got?
Let's see. Another question is, if you could sum up in one sentence what this podcast means to you, what would that be? It doesn't necessarily have to be one sentence.
Well, I'm going to try to sum it up in one sentence. I got to think about that for a minute. Sum it up in one sentence. What this podcast means to me? Man, I don't want to sit here and pause for a long time and whatnot, but
For me,
I think in one sentence, this podcast means a community and support. There are, again, I sound like a broken record or a parrot or whatever the case may be, but Through the Rough is really, it's really an integral part in my life as I'm trying to help establish a community of support for people who have gone through some serious shit in their life or have gone through some stuff that they're not even sure how to handle it. And to get that almost therapeutic voice out there and to share that information with people who are going through the same thing or something similar or know somebody going through the same thing or something similar, to help create a level of awareness or acknowledgement to make either your life or the other person's life or everybody's life for that matter easier, because now you have the ability to recognize and understand what it is those people are going through.
it gives you different perspectives. And I think seeing the world in different perspectives helps you, I think, connect to people and understanding that, we're all different, we're all unique, and we do look at things differently, but in a way it is truly all similar, and the hardships and the positives and the ups and downs, we all kind of go through the same thing as being human.
Yeah, we live in a day and age. I mean, it's right now it's 2025. I mean,
Which is crazy.
We live in a day and age where authenticity has been, I dare use the term, I cast to the wayside, where, your Instagrams and your Snapchats and your Facebooks are all about the glamour life and the fancy Airbnbs with the great views of the mountainsides and like the shit that never happens. We like all this bullshit that people put out that show a fake artificial life that they want people to see instead of the real, gritty, authentic, this is what life is. Life isn't pretty and glamorous. Life is dirty, it's filthy, and it's hard. It's really hard. And anybody who tells you otherwise is a liar, because it's not easy. And if you think your life is easy mode and it's always going to be easy mode, then you haven't, I think, and I could be an asshole for thinking this, but I don't think you've been through real adversity.
No.
And even I think people who have gone through adversity and still show growth, having gone through that adversity, know that it could go straight to shit any second. Like it's just life. Like life throws you left and right hooks while your eyes are closed and you don't even know when to dodge. So.
And I think life does that in a way to help you appreciate what you have and appreciate the life you have on this earth, because it is short. In the whole scheme of it, our lives on this planet are not very long. And we have to understand that to experience all of it, that means the bad too.
Yeah.
And how that bad can change you and shape you and affect, your next point in your life.
Yeah, and I agree. I 100% agree with you, babe Lindsay. Well,
she is your husband and wife, so that is okay.
My next question for you is, how do you hope that this podcast will impact somebody who might be struggling right now. Did that whole thing come across?
Yeah. For me, it's just that light, because
Say that again.
the light, just giving someone that light, that hope, that spark to just
Okay.
maybe take that one more step. And sometimes just that one more step is just the catalyst that you need to fire through it, to get through it. And just to show that you're not alone, and that, you know, we are here together. And I do hope it sheds lights, when people are feeling lonely, that it is a community, like you said, a place where people can keep coming back to and, connect in different ways. So,
Yeah, listen, comment, leave a post on the website, send an email through the
yeah.
website. There's a lot of different ways. We're working on a Facebook page. I don't know, Mark Zuckerberg, you got to fix it.
And if you ever want to share your own experience, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, that's another thing. We're working on mobility, which in some cases we do have the ability to be mobile and come to you, but we are located here in the heart of the Midwest, but we can do things over the phone. We've got guests coming from literally all over the world.
We do.
All over the world are flying to to us to come on and speak. So we've got some really fantastic episodes coming up, which leads me to my next question for Lindsay. What kind of guests or stories are you most excited to share with our listeners?
Oh, wow. Well, for me, I don't know if it's necessarily a category, but just my own interest is just, I think the stories of someone going through something hard and then coming out of it and looking back and showcasing what they learned, what they felt. And, those are the stories that I'm excited to hear about. I'm also excited to hear, just in general of my own, the more shocking, the more you're interested.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't.
We have a couple in particular coming up here in the next 45 days that one in the next 45 days that I'm super, super excited about. We got another one coming up in September that I almost just cannot wait to have on. And he's flying here from London, England, and I'm very excited to have him on.
Let me ask you another question. This one's a little bit, if there's one thing that you want people to take away from our conversations and our stories, no matter what episode they're listening to, what would that be?
Authenticity means everything. That's what I want. I want people to take authenticity, and there authenticity encompasses a few things, not just obviously being authentic.
Mm-hmm.
It means being real with yourself, being real with the people around you, accepting responsibility, accepting accountability, not casting blame or doubt, but being authentic to who you are. Because the minute that you stop being authentic to who you are and you start to embellish or stretch the truth, then everything you say is garbage. It doesn't mean shit because there's no truth in it, or the truth has been skewed. Authenticity is so important in today's day and age because we want the people in the world want to be able to trust the things that they're told or the things that they're hearing as truth. And I'm going to speak for myself. If we were to have a guest on, right, and a guest would like shared this profound experience that was in all reality life-changing, right?
Yeah.
And they garnered all this hope and this inspiration, and then 3 months later you find out they're full of shit and they lied about everything. I'd be devastated.
Yeah. Disappointing.
Like I would be heartbroken. Like why would you do that to not just me, but why would you do it to me? Why would you do it to my wife? Why would you do it to yourself? And why would you do it to every single person listening?
Mm-hmm.
Now you are just an asshole.
This is true. I look at, authenticity. That is kind of hard to say. Authenticity.
Authenticity.
If we go back to that, touching on that, my own self, I would say I'm very much an introvert and posing sometimes as an extrovert. Not posing, but I feel like touching on authenticity is a way to really show who you are, be vulnerable. And through those moments, I think people can actually maybe find more about themselves. Touching on me being an introvert, coming out, talking, being more open, engaging. I'm finding more about myself just by doing the episodes we have. And I do hope that people who come on feel that same thing, that they might learn something about themselves as they're telling their story.
Oh God, yes. That's one of the reasons I love listening to podcasts, because, my podcast might be an hour to 3 hours long, and I may only take 30 seconds of information out of that entire thing. But that 30 seconds of information that I took, I will sit and reflect on and think about that. And I will correlate that to my own life and help me better understand myself so that I can become a better person.
Mm-hmm. And it's awesome.
What other questions you got for me?
This one is kind of, what challenges do you foresee this journey that we're going on with the podcast? And how do you think we'll grow through?
What challenges I foresee? Everything. I foresee everything as a challenge because I don't know what I'm doing.
We are starting from absolutely no knowledge.
Yeah,
on any of this.
We don't have a marketing team. We've got a dog trying to get into our podcast lab right now. Hi, Ringo.
This is Ringo.
And we have a Catahoula leopard dog named Ringo who just managed to
very
work his way in
friendly.
here.
If he could be on recording right now, he would.
Oh, he told. But he's not much of a talker, are you, buddy?
No. He's friendly.
Yeah, so we started this I'll be honest, we started this by ourselves. We didn't look up podcasts or how to podcast or any of that, but a cheap couple of pieces of stuff on Amazon and toyed around with it and continued to literally, like a life form, evolve into something more and more and more and more, and eventually ended up building a pod lab sound booth in our garage. Got some pretty decent equipment to go in here. But I foresee challenges with everything because this is a learning process for me. It's a learning process for you. And it's not like I'm trying to be stubborn and not seeking help. This is something that I'm dedicating my life to, and I'm dedicating my life to this being successful, and I'm dedicating my life to going through these challenges. And I know that every time I touch this, I get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can attest for that. Every single time I'm down in this pod lab, I come upstairs and say something, oh, I learned this. I just learned this. So the challenges are everything. Marketing, the SEO, which I still don't even know exactly what that means, but I know what it does. Everything about it is challenging. And the organic growth, that's challenging. I have to try and not think about it and just let it be and just know that at some point, eventually, this is going to take off.
Mm-hmm. A lot of trial and error.
Lots.
Mm-hmm. But we are committed. And, I think that's what the meaning of it. We'll figure it out as we go.
At this point, I am so financially vested in this that if I were to stop, I don't know how I would recover. What other questions you got for me?
This one here is, how do you hope this podcast will impact the people who listen to it?
Yeah, I think I touched base on that a little bit earlier, but just to reiterate, I think what I hope is that it will inspire hope, provoke thought, and provoke a little self-confidence. One of the things that I really want to get through to people is that there isn't any single person out there who knows it all, who can do it all. There are people who exhibit confidence, whether or not that confidence is false or not. I mean, I can't speak for that. But the majority of people in day-to-day life are just doing the best they can. And that includes you. That includes me. That includes you, Lindsay. When I say you the first time, I mean you, the listener.
Mm-hmm.
Half of us, we're just doing our best. And if you are a person who says that you are the best, then you're not. I mean, you're not. You're not the best. If you automatically assume that you're the best, you're not the best. because you haven't opened up your perspective to all of these things that unfold in life.
And I truly believe in your journey in life that you always continue to grow and learn. That,
As long as you recognize the
yeah,
opportunities to grow and learn.
yeah.
A lot of people call them problems or bad days, when in reality, it's an opportunity to learn something.
hmm
It's how you take the time to perceive or understand the situation.
And I think if you get to a point where you stop looking at different perspectives or stop learning and growing and become stagnant, I think you will live an unhappy life.
I agree. I think depression will start
Yeah.
to set in,
Growth,
anxiety and all this other shit.
I think as humans, we're designed to experience. That's why we have emotions. That's why we have sensory in all of these things, because we're here to experience, and that means experience life. And if you stop doing that, your life just becomes stagnant.
Just gets boring.
It gets boring.
The experience it's not limited to, again, I went skydiving or I went scuba diving, and there's a lot of different things that encompass that word experience. What is experience? It's going through the rough, for one. I experienced that. Guest number one, Tessa, had a stroke at 29 years old. That's a hell of an experience.
hmm
She experienced near death, found peace with it. And then, another guest, Austin, a great example, experienced extreme marital adversity, and struggled with that. And then we've got a guest, Will, struggled with drug addiction and codependency. We've got various other guests. I don't want to give a lot of stuff away, but everybody goes through their own experiences. So yeah, life is not easy, and anybody who pretends that it is living in a fantasy make-believe world. But it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard at all. You just be authentic, man. Be who you be.
And, take the time to be kind to one another. And, sometimes it just takes when was the last time you were walking down the street and you passed someone and you said hello?
A simple smile goes a long way.
Just yeah.
Yeah, you don't even have to say anything. Just smile. Like, I know, like, if somebody smiles or waves at me, I always, like, I don't know who the hell you are, but hell yeah, you too, man. Like, you brighten me up a little bit.
It always makes my day when someone just says hello.
And like, if a guy's having a bad day, a guy or girl, if you're having a bad day, man, just remember that that's your bad day. That's not anybody else's bad day. Don't take it out on them. And it doesn't have to be a bad day either. It might have been a bad moment. Don't let that moment control you. Don't let that moment control you. What else you got for me?
Let's see. Is there any particular story or conversation that helps spark your idea for Through the Rough?
Well, a while back, a few years ago, I started doing these video interviews with people I was toying around with, and I created a list of about 25 questions that were really tough, thought-provoking questions. And then I took this whole thing and I edited it down into this really neat little video project, and that I was fascinated with it. I loved it. I was learning everything. And I think that was really kind of my kicking catalyst that steered me in this particular direction. And then it just falls back to my curiosity. Yeah. So my final question for you, Lindsay, is what do you think is the key to having real, honest conversations that inspire others?
I think the key is, one, maybe letting your guard down. Because if you have your walls up, you're not going to be authentic. Maybe show a little vulnerability. And so I think it's just being honest. And that means also being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it's hard to admit your own faults. And it's really hard. It's really hard. But when you do, and you take it and use it as a positive, and maybe it's not a fault, but a way you can incorporate it, or a way you can do something
Yeah,
different and overcome it.
for all you know, it's a hidden strength, and you
Yeah.
were just looking at it in a light that didn't show the strength.
Uh-huh. I think honesty, honesty with each other is a way that we can actually, truly see each other. That's another thing. And, truly seeing who we are and not putting up those fake persona and this perfect life and showing that, we're all not perfect. None of us are perfect, but that's okay.
You're perfect, honey.
Oh, thank you.
Well, do you have anything left to add, or?
No, I think I'm, really honestly, I'm very excited about this journey. I think Through the Rough is going to be a great place for people to find hope, to heal, and to come together. And I'm really excited about this journey.
That's awesome. I think Through the Rough is going to be a place that I hope it will be a place that inspires others, provokes thought, and promotes authenticity and integrity with listeners, speakers, and that in itself is contagious and spreads all over the world. That's what I hope. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Sam and Lindsay, a little bit of a understanding of who Through the Rough is, why Through the Rough is, and what Through the Rough is. And until next time, I cannot wait to share our next episode. We'll see you then.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to stop by throughtherough.net to check out our latest episodes, merchandise, and hit that donation tab to keep content coming. See you again next week.